Hello everybody, welcome to That's Football. We're back again, and I didn't expect to be doing this, and I didn't expect to be doing this transfer news. Pedro Neto to Chelsea from absolutely bloody nowhere. I mean, get in the comments, Chelsea fans, did you know this was coming? Because outside of Chelsea, I don't think any of us expected this. This was not on the script. And what I will say is, this is That's Football. Smash the like and subscribe, where we react to football news in general. But just to give it that United thing, because I am a United fan and I do the United stand, it's funny because back in February, the two wingers that Ineos were highlighted and wanting was Michael Olise, who's now at Bayern, and Pedro Neto, who's now at Chelsea. But what did Chelsea want to do at the start of the summer? They wanted Michael Olise. That didn't work. Everything went quiet. And then they get Pedro Neto. So I can't have any criticism of this deal. I think it's a fantastic deal for Chelsea. And what I will say again is, and I've said this for years, I think I don't understand how Chelsea can afford it. And I'm not saying that in a negative way towards Chelsea. Chelsea fans need to explain it to us because from the outside in, it's chaos. This player comes in, that one goes out. You've got to be a Chelsea fan to understand it because I'm sure there is a legitimate way that you've done it. But over the last 2 years, I just look at Chelsea and I go, there's billions here. And yes, you must be selling players. All I'm saying is I don't know how you do it, but what I will say is fantastic deal. I love this player. There is one negative, but I love this player. And also, I've said this for years, Chelsea in the transfer window are very, very good. It doesn't always work well on the pitch, but when it comes to sales and purchases, pretty much since the Abramovich days, pretty much since the mid noughties, about 2005, wasn't it? He prioritised, we want to be one of the best in the world at transfers. And they are. And they still are. And they've still maintained that, even with Todd Bowley. It's a bit more chaotic, I think. I think they have a few more misses than hits than they used to. But, just to fly in and do that deal like that. One thing I've always said about Todd Bowley and Chelsea is that it's chaotic. It's like your granddad playing Football Manager when they've never played it before. But the heart's in the right place. Like they play it, they're playing it to win. They might not be very good at it, but they are playing to win. Whereas there are other owners out there, as we know, who really aren't there to make the fans happy or make the club win. They're there to line their own pockets, as we know at United. But talking about the player, I'm jealous. I'm genuinely jealous. I think that the only problem with Pedro Neto is, with all due respect to Wolves, Wolves would be a mid-table team and he's good enough to play for a top 4 team. So straight away, that would be a problem. I think he can play at a higher level. And secondly, he is a bit injury prone. Like that, I know this for a fact because we've had this conversation on the United stand many a time. And we had the whole conversation about Olise or Neto. And I was like, I quite like Neto. This is how much we were looking at Neto and Olise. I can tell you that Neto has been in a relationship for years and he's very settled. Now, some people think that's not important, but Sir Alex Ferguson used to value this. This is the sort of background checks Sir Alex used to do. He'd look at, whether they're settled, good family life, etc. Because, of course, it makes a big difference. If you're going home after training and you've got a settled family life and, football's your profession and you're professional. But that's how much I know about Neto because that's what we were looking at back in February. So, but no, that's not the reason why I think he's a good, he's a good family guy. No, it's also because I think he's a very good footballer. And, you look at Chelsea now and the components are there for Chelsea. Like they've got so many good players. It's about gelling it all together. When you look at Cole Palmer and you look at Enzo Fernandez and Caicedo, and now they've got Neto there, and God, I'm going to forget loads of names because they've got so many there. But they've got a lot of good players, but Maresca's problem is putting it all together. And I think that chaos has been the problem, which is why, for me, Chelsea really should, and we were speaking about Amaridian the other night, I would go and get Victor Osimhen. I'd go and get the best striker you can get. Because when you're trying to gel something together and you're playing a game, I don't know, away at Fulham and it's struggling and you're 0-0 with 10 minutes to go and it's just not quite working with all these very good players because they're not gelling yet. And then half a chance falls to Osimhen and he scores and you win 1-0. That buys you time to keep gelling these players together. And I think what Chelsea desperately need, and they've needed it ever since Todd Bowley came in, despite all this money and all these players he's bought, I don't understand why they just haven't gone and spent some of this massive amounts of money they've spent on a striker that is proven, that will just give them results more consistently as they try and build something together. But wow, breaking. David Ornstein, Chelsea reach agreement with Wolverhampton Wanderers to sign Pedro Neto. Fee, 60 million euros plus 3 in add-ons, 24 years of age, going through a medical now, and gives a shout out to Fabrice Hawkins as well, the journalist who I think initially broke it. But wow, just what a bit of news. And I tell you what, it is. We were talking about Zubimendi, which isn't done yet. Some Liverpool fans think it might not happen. I still think it will. But yeah, I think this is. I mean, it's bad for Wolves, but I think Wolves know what their place is, and I think that it's really important that we acknowledge that that's football is about football, and it's about primarily the Premier League. I want the Premier League to be a good league. I think it's going to be so competitive, and I think that when you look at Man City, they'll probably win the league. Arsenal will probably challenge them. And then you've got 3rd, 4th place for top 4. And the battle for that is going to be so intriguing. I've got my Premier League predictions video coming out Monday morning. Get your alarm ready for that. Always a good video. But that 3rd and 4th place, look, I think Liverpool have got a great chance. But they've not nailed it on. And Chelsea, Newcastle, Spurs, Villa, Man United. Like, there's so many people competing for that. And then when you see the transfer window coming alive and Chelsea making signings like that, and remember, Neto's just not coming in from Atletico Madrid or PSG. He's coming in from Wolves. He's Premier League proven. These are the sort of deals that can make a big, big, massive difference. So I'm very impressed with that deal by Chelsea. I'm shocked. I'm admittedly jealous. But I'm never going to lie and say, oh, he's a flop. They've overpaid just because I'm a United fan. I don't like Chelsea. I think it's a very, very good deal, and I think he will be a player that makes a huge difference. The only thing will be injury, and Chelsea have had their fair share of those. I mean, look at what happened with Lavia, but I think Chelsea are going to be a very interesting team to watch this season. And I'm all for it. I want a competitive league. I think the Premier League can be the best. And we want to see teams getting stronger and stronger to make it more competitive. And just a fantastic deal. Let us know what your thoughts are. Well done to Chelsea. Brilliant signing. Smash a like and subscribe. Oh, I've put the link there for the Premier League. We've done like an interactive Premier League prediction show on the podcast, which is out today. Goldbridge Saves Football. Join the Ultras. Scan the QR code. Go and give it a listen. Please do. Thanks everyone for listening. Smash a like, subscribe, get your comments in below. Speak to you all in a bit.